last episode of the show until we can figure out if I can keep doing this particular show. Um, so, first things first, I apologize for my voice. I have been ill today. I took the day off of work even to recover. It has not been an easy one for me. It's weird, like my mouth feels like I'm chewing out a bunch of pennies. That's kind of where I'm at right now. But I've spent all day in bed, sweating it all out. So I'm in that last kind of stages of it. I'm going to drink from a metal cup in order to help that mouthful of pennies flavor, right? So we're in that wind down phase just before Worlds. Not usually this time of year, so it's kind of a new experience to be doing it in the winter. And I say winter even though officially it's not winter yet. It's cold up here. It is cold where we are. It's also probably because I'm sick. So what can you do? A little bit of Irish medicine to help with that, I think, might go a long way. So that said, that is also why there's not going to be much editing done this week. We were going to try to get a game out this week, but Amber is the reason I got sick. And she takes these things a lot worse than I do. Like for me, it's yesterday I wasn't feeling well. I came home, I grabbed some Neocitrin, knocked out, got some sleep, sweat most of it off. Wasn't feeling great today. I probably didn't want to be contagious at work. So, took the day off just to not be contagious, and then slept some more off just to be absolutely sure. It's this thing I do where it's like I sleep, sweat it all off, and I'm better mostly for the next day. But this takes Amber a lot harder. She's probably going to be down and out until tomorrow, and then editing our games. So a little bit of channel update. This is probably one of the last episodes, though I may do an epilogue after Worlds to kind of explain how my experience went, what things I could have done better, etc., etc. So that's why I put question mark, apostrophe, and then Terabang as it's called at the end of the title. Okay, Jay, what is up? Today, we're going to focus less on the actual tournament and more on tournament prep, preparing ourselves for this. Worlds is part of PAX this year. PAX. So, one of those first things you want to make sure, and is PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia. When you're prepping for it, you got to make sure you got your ticket. Because these things do tend to sell out. And especially this one, it's got the PAX name on it. That is bound to sell a bunch of tickets. A lot of people will get confused. Like, where's the video games? It's PAX Unplugged. It's a board game thing. This is what it sounds like to me. I might be wrong. There might be a video game company there. Who knows? That's the obvious stuff. Make sure you're packed for the days that you're going to be there. Philadelphia is cold this time of year. It's not far off from Canada. So if I was to take a bit of I'm going to go quickly check Google Maps just to get a scale of where Philadelphia is and where I am here in Canada. And just so you understand that the kind of weather differential, or the weather similarities rather. So we'll zoom out on Google Maps just to get our north-south line kind of lined up. So it's like, to give you, we'll just do it right now. Here, boom, Google Maps. Here we are. So here's where I am. This is Mississauga, the city I live in. And here's Philadelphia. Now that distance is fairly close. Like that, it's almost, here's Detroit, Windsor area. It's almost on the level of the southern parts of Canada. And even the southern parts of Canada get really cold. So if you're coming from areas that you're familiar with warm-ish weather or not super cold, non-snowy weather, as it were, prepare yourself for some cold weather. Now, to kind of help that, because the thing is, I'm not 100% familiar with a lot of the climates in the U.S. I as a Canadian from southern Canada, I actually get the tamer version of what a lot of our country gets as far as weather. It's actually one of the funny jokes about one of our provinces being Saskatchewan. We make a lot of fun of Saskatchewan for how cold it gets. It's all in jest, of course, as these things are. But so when we're talking about Philadelphia, it's almost as high north as like southern parts of Canada. And southern parts of Canada see snow, and because it's early December, late November, this is a cold time of year. You might need a jacket, or if you're just going from airport to convention center, like some heavy clothing, because that cold bites through just about anything, or you might have to wait outside for your taxi or your car pickup or whatever. And then, wherever you are in comparison to the convention center. And now the convention center itself will generally be a little bit warm. I mean, even if they don't have working heat, because bodies make a place warm. It's unavoidable. But it's one of those things to prepare yourself for. Long sleeves and prepare to layer. If I know south, like some places like Texas, they do get weather where a hoodie is appropriate. Prepare to wear that hoodie over a t-shirt if you're from that kind of weather. It's just as a prep for people who might not be familiar with this type of Philadelphia weather. I mean, KJ in there is from Michigan, so he knows what he's dealing with. And of course, I'm a polar bear as it is, so I'm prepared for it personally. But those of you who are not familiar with it, a little bit of a update, as that were. So when we get beyond this, you got to be aware that when we get to these conventions, we are in it for a long haul. Let's just on the win itself. It actually has the tournament schedule for what we're going to be playing. So if you go to win.wizkids.com. It's actually let's do it on screen because it's that time of year. We don't need that title card, Jason. So we're win.wizkids.com. This is the homepage. You go to the official WizKids tournaments. I'm not even signing in right now. That's just how easy this is. You go to the World Championships. Bam. So now we have the World Championship schedule and how this is all going down between November 30th and December 2nd. PAX Unplugged, Pennsylvania Convention Center. This is the address of the convention center. So, pre-registration is available. Do it. If you know for a fact you're going to go. Team World Championships and World Championships, that kind of thing. All right. Next up, tournament resources. That's a thing. But we're going to look at the championships qualifiers and the schedules. Now, qualifier, the last chance qualifier, Friday, November 30th is at 3 p.m. Now, the reason this is called the last chance is because Team World Championships is your actual first chance. So, it's funny because when people say not as cold, you got to think of not as cold as, say, somebody from the deep south. I'm talking to somebody who's coming from like Florida or California weather, KJ. When I say it's going to be cold, they're going to be freezing. For me, it's going to be a little bit less cold. But somebody posted the other day that snow had fallen in November, so that's cold. That is what we call 0 to sub-zero temperatures up here because we go on we go on the Celsius scale. I think we're Celsius, you're Fahrenheit. Anyway, so World Championships itself, the Team Worlds starts on the Friday at 10 a.m., which means you need to be there and ready to go for this. It is $75 entry fee, and that's for your entire team. It's 300 points sealed, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is your first chance to qualify for Worlds. Your last chance, right here, is after that at 3 p.m. So this starts at 10 a.m. Team World starts at 10 a.m. This starts at 3 p.m. I believe it was the top 16 teams from this event, will qualify for World Championships. Then everybody else can top 50% of this get into Worlds. Cool. Now, the Worlds itself is going to be on this Saturday, December 1st at 10 a.m. This will be a couple rounds of Swiss. This could be 300-point Modern Age constructed. So what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about preparing yourself for this, because this is absolute insanity. This is if you don't somehow get in the top 16, well, I mean, some teams won't. If you're not one of the top 16 teams of Team Worlds, you do have to play in another tournament. And this one is constructed. So you have to have a team ready to go. So the first thing you obviously need are going to be all your tools to play. Now, here's what I suggest as a player in a major tournament coming to a big place tournament. Dice, definitely. Your own dice. and tokens. Now, I suggest like extra tokens on top of, and reasonable facsimiles for your bystanders. Like, let's try to keep it clear for your bystander tokens. And if you're worried about that, and you have acquired multiple bystander tokens of other types of bystander tokens, do yourself the favor and bring those as well. It just helps everybody kind of understand what's going on the board if you have issues with that. I know myself, I will probably be bringing extra bystanders for my own good, just so that I don't get confused, because people using special markers, I don't have anything against them. Not everybody has access to the resources that we all have, or is familiar with the resources that we all have. But they do, I'm sure they'd appreciate your use of your tokens. Now, granted, I'm going to take my tokens back at the end of the game, but I know full well that I may have issues remembering, or I don't want to delay myself in time by constantly asking, what is this? What is this token again? What is this token? Because I'll do that. I'm old. I'm not getting any younger, and it's going to be cold. So, obviously, your tokens, bystander tokens. I suggest, and if you can get one, either a piece of string, or some of you will have jobs that have those little ID tags that have a string for carrying your ID tags, or might have a couple of those hanging around. I'd suggest a string or something like that, because I can't tell you how frequently the question of line of fire comes up. And if you have that visualization tool, you're all good. And it will help you plan your moves a little better. I can't tell you how frequently I have drawn a line of fire prior to taking a move, and realized that line of fire wouldn't be drawn. If I would have taken that move in the wrong opponent, I wouldn't have been able to make the attack, etc., etc. So something like that will go a long way towards that. Cards, figures, tokens, obviously, all things that you're going to want to bring. A reasonable sized case to carry them in, or just a case you can put in a reasonable place, because space tends to get tight. Real estate gets tight for these tournaments. And I don't know what kind of space WizKids has. If they have their own reserve, I think they have their own reserve space, but they may not. So we have to be ready to share the table space with everybody else. So that means try your best. A lot of the times tables are wide enough that you can put your sideline like in front of you, or your opponent can put it in front of you. There isn't often times where you can put it on either side of the map. I mean, sometimes there is, and that's the greatest feeling in the world. But there's a lot of stuff going on the sideline that you want to just make sure you know how to do. So because of that limited real estate space, be ready to have a carrying case of some sorts that you can put down on the ground. I've seen people using these HeroClix trays, which are really great. That allows you to carry a backpack around and just use your HeroClix tray to transport your team around, and then put everything back away when it's all said and done. I think that's a really great idea, and I wish I had a chance to get my hands on those. If anybody is going to be at Worlds that has those and can do something really cool with Dr. Doom, that would be much appreciated. Anyway, that is what it is. Also, at this point, now is a good time to go on the win and check for your edge case rulings of things that might come up that might be weird. Or be aware of rulings that are strange. A good example of this would be the Ironheart and Lockjaw rulings. These are important rulings to be aware of. And that is, if Ironheart pushes, her damage token trigger thing doesn't seem to work the way it does. This is how it's been explained to me. It's the same with Lockjaw. Lockjaw takes a pushing damage. He doesn't remove a token. He just moves the dial to the next click. Awesome. Okay, cool. But these are kinds of things you need to go on the win and be aware of. Some of these edge case rulings that people are using as part of their team. If you're unfamiliar with them, make yourself familiar with them. It's kind of important. What else? It's also important to prepare yourself with a water bottle. This is the one I can't stress enough. Bring a water bottle of some sorts, a refillable water bottle. The reason for this, convention food and drink is a ripoff. And when I say a ripoff, you pay $3 for a bottle of water. And in the US, you guys are all sick. And the reason for that is a convention has a captive audience. As in, we've captured you, you're staying here, pay a lot of money for food and drink. So I'd suggest if you're planning on, if you're not bringing food, know the restaurants around the area. Be familiar with where you want to go to eat. Or, when you walk by a restaurant, go, that was interesting. I'm going to try to eat that sometime later. Those are the places you want to eat. You do not want to eat a $5 convention slice of pizza. You're just going to be angry afterwards. Sometimes you're stuck with it because you're in the finals. They're giving you a break, but the break is like a half an hour, and there isn't like a McDonald's or something quick in the area that you can just go very quickly on. So bring a water bottle and bring snacks because, my God, I can't stress enough how useful those things are. Yeah, so those are the important things as well. Make sure you have your hotel route planned. Sometimes you get a hotel and it's like, hey, it was cheap, and it's because it's nowhere near the convention center. A lot of places near the convention center for this event are going to be jacked up in price because of the event. Even with their hotel discount, that like 10% that you get with the coupon code is still 10% off of a jacked up that weekend price. Travel arrangements as well. If you're crossing a border, be prepared. It's the holiday season. You might take a little extra time at the crossings. It does depend on where you're coming from, where you're going. We are coming from Canada, so border crossings might be a little tough for us. Oh my gosh. Oh. All right. What else do you have to prepare yourself for? I'd suggest getting a good idea of the convention floor layout when you can. I believe usually these places will have like these conventions will have some kind of a map on them, and that will help you get yourself figured out. I'm kind of looking at it right now, looking it up because I know I've seen it. Schedule, safety, forums, gallery, news. See, sometimes they're a little more difficult to find. It's not registration. Features. Maybe it's under features. Looking for game area. Also, while you're there, while you're planning this trip, think of other things you might do there. I know HeroClix does have a lot of crossover with the board game community, and this is a really cool board game convention. So if you do get some time, plan some stuff out. Plan to go to some things. Be aware of what's going on and all that kind of stuff. I swear I'm just trying to find some kind of... They used to have a map, and I don't know where it went, or Amber found it, and I'm terrible at this kind of thing. PAX Arena details, Kids Day, a Megathon, Meet the Performers, tournament schedule, features, schedule, gallery? Maybe? Gallery coming soon, of course it is. Frequently asked questions? I don't know. Okay. Hopefully there's a map on site. I'm the worst at giving advice on this one, but familiarize yourself with what's going to be there, etc., etc. Know why you're getting around, and at this point, prepare yourself for a long slog. Friday, if you don't qualify in the top 16 of there was an email from PAX. That's why I don't have it. Amber is the one who took care of this. So if you get your email from PAX, if you pre-registered, I hope you pre-registered, your map's going to be there. I'm sorry for wasting everybody's time. I wonder if me and Amber used the Married with Clicks email for that. That would be so convenient if she did. It'd be super convenient. Married with Clicks. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second for this road to discovery. Not looking good. No. All right. I'm violating trust here. I'm violating trust. PAX Unplugged. Here we go. You guys are staring at me looking at a computer. I'm so sorry. Okay, I don't know where it is. So Amber has it. So I apologize. If you got that email that has the map, use that to kind of know your way around, know where you're going. Now the convention itself, let's check the schedule on it because that's an important thing. So on the Friday, 10 a.m. is when the doors open. So if you think that anything is starting at 10 a.m. at PAX, you're drunk. That is, I guess, just the registration period. They should have thought that one through. Anyway, so 10 a.m. everything starts up. You get in the door, go straight to the HeroClix booth. Thanks, Emily. You're the bestest, Emily. So think it all the way through. And prepare yourself for the Friday and the Saturday being particularly long days. Just because Friday, this is if you qualify for the tournament. Friday itself, between Team Worlds and then the other worlds, like if you didn't make the top 16 here, you got another tournament, another whole tournament to play. And then after that, it's it's the Saturday, and that itself starts at 10 a.m. if I remember correctly, based on the event schedule that I was just looking at. Yep, that's also 10 a.m. on the Saturday. And the Saturday itself, it opens also at 10 a.m. So straight to the WizKids booth. You live at the WizKids booth for this event, at least for the Friday and Saturday. Here we go. So here is our penny. Thank you very much, Emily, for this. Here we go. So here we go. The expo hall. It's something else. So we look at it and let's see where it is. WizKids 2301. So I'm pretty sure that's where WizKids is. 2301. 2301. Here we go. Right here. Now, where is the entrance? That's a good question. Tabletop free play is over here. So wherever this is either front or back of the convention center. Woof. So the best way to look is if you walk in, go past the first set of tables and you see Skybound, you got to go to the other side of the convention center. Skybound, Everything Epic, Elder World, or Crafty Games. Those should be your look fors. At the same time, it might be on the other side here next to Chip Theory, Light Seekers, or Wizards of the Coast. If that's what you see on the entrance, it looks like you're going forward and down to the left a bit. Now here, where if things get a little bit less familiar, you're close, but no cigar. And if the entrance is down here, down where if you see WizKids or Games Workshop, you're close. So depending on where the entrance to the convention itself is, will depend on where you have to direct yourself, as it were. Now, myself and Amber, we did a thing where we pick up the what's the word I'm looking for? We pick up our tickets while we're there, and I think we're able to do that on the Saturday, or the Thursday. I believe there was a place specifically to pick up our tickets. So, Amber has that information. So, but if you have that, look for that information. Be ready with that information. Know where you got to go for that. And then just be ready to have fun at this point. There's a couple other suggestions that I make. These are your optional suggestions. If you are planning on playing in Battle Royales, bring a container for your draft chaff or your junk. Don't just leave it at the table, guys. It's rude. What else? And, that container will also help you carry your con exclusives or any prizes that you might have got from those. Traders. If you're planning on bringing stuff to trade with, I can't stress this one enough. You're going to an event that's at this high a level. I wouldn't bring anything less than a rare to trade with. And even then, that's kind of iffy. There are stores at the event, such as Troll and Toad or Cool Stuff Inc., that might do trade-in value, cash value with you. Go for that. If you're up for it, don't expect much for your stuff. But if you plan on trading with other people, bring nothing less than a rare. Because when it comes to commons and uncommons, for the most part, a lot of the people you're going to be trading with have the stuff that's below that certain level, with the exception of things that work in great numbers. So like back in the X-Men days, it would have been in a multiple man. Other such things as some people collect a lot of world breakers. So if you happen to acquire quite a few world breakers, maybe bring those with you. Some people like to do this stuff, some people don't. But you're kind of playing a in the air sort of game with it. And that's the thing, like when I say container for your draft chaff, what you'll find is people leave the commons, uncommons, and even the rares behind a lot at these at the battle royales. So we have a container to dump them in, and everybody's like, I don't want anything else in this, and everybody else is kind of in agreement. You just kind of go, just to help clean up the table. You can junk it your own way, however you feel like it. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I don't know how much more I can say. Like I've said, nibbles and water, bring that kind of stuff. Brace yourself for the weather. It's not going to be warm. And apparently for Canadians, it will be okay, mild. So either way, enjoy yourselves there. I will be there. Amber will be there. As a rule of kind of etiquette, there's a lot of the podcasters / HeroClix personalities that will be there. If they are in the middle of the game, leave them alone. Wait until after the game is over to kind of say hello. Or if it's before a tournament, also do that. I can't stress this enough. You don't want to kind of get them on their bad side, as it were. So, or you don't want to catch them in a bad mood or something like that. You just leave them alone and wait until they're done their game or the battle royale or whatever it is. Or at least wait until it's not their turn. But it's more important to just leave them alone and wait between rounds or something like that. It takes a little bit of time for rounds to get go. You can get your quick conversations and everything like that. And yeah, that's prepare to have fun. Come with money. You're going to need some money because the con exclusives will be for sale there. And con exclusives are inclusive of, and this is going to be in American dollars for those of you who are Canadian and watch this. The Blackbird's going to be there for $50 US. The Thanos Copter, $50 US. The Colossal Starro is going to be there for $70 US. And then the Commissioner Gordon Batman and Kirk and Uhura are going to be $15 US each. So bring money for those if you need them. I have a feeling Starro and the Blackbird are going to sell. And these three here especially are going to sell in multitudes. Yeah, so prepare yourself for that. If you're looking for this stuff. I mean, if you're not, that's cool. But if sometimes this investment is worth it if you plan on selling it when you get back home, because people will pay a little extra as that kind of extra goes into your travel bill, as it were. People are willing to pay a little extra because, hey, you went and traveled to the event. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And thank you for the convenience of being able to purchase it outside of the event. Some people do get a little bit testy about it, and those are the people who don't want it that badly. They don't understand it. All right. I think I've talked myself hoarse enough, taking my sick day to chit-chat with you guys. So from here, I want to say thank you very much for watching Into the Mind Madness. It's been fun doing this show. Like I said, I'll do an epilogue next. Not next week. There won't be a show. We'll be on the last second, like packing, prepping, whatever laundry you might have to do, cleaning the apartment so that we don't leave a disaster area behind before the tournament. So the Metal Lab will be the last piece of live content we do next week. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do Every Man for Everyone, and hopefully my voice is a little better for it. I do plan on bringing an Everyman team with me, though I'm not sure how much time for games we're going to have. And I think me and Happy Little HeroClix were planning a what's the word I'm looking for? Show match, or kind of a fun match. So, and I might be loud and rowdy for that. Who knows? We'll see. Gonna have some fun. And if you're a Magic player, I plan on bringing a Commander deck if we can get some game space and play some Magic. Sure, cool. I'm planning on bringing one deck with me, one commander deck. Favorite of mine that's very recent. It's using partner commanders from the new Battle Bond. I'm talking at length. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching this show. It's been a pleasure kind of sharing my competitive experience this season. I might start to show up again when I get into the swing of nationals next year and start thinking about prepping for that. And we'll see where we go. Every Man for Everyone will still continue as far as I know, and the Metal Lab, you can catch me there. Just a quick reminder: we are looking for audio video content for for the 200th episode of Metal Lab. So if you have like a little blurb of what the Metal Lab means to you, we'd like to share that as part of like kind of a video montage for the 200th episode. If you can get that to us by Friday, 30 seconds of video just saying, hey, this is why I like the Metal Lab. I love Tom's voice. It's a beautiful thing. That Jason guy can go, jump off a building for all I care. That's fine. We're just kind of looking for some stuff like that to do. Neat little thing to celebrate that you guys have been watching us for 200 of those episodes. So anything for that would be much appreciated. Just email it to us at marriedwithclicks@gmail.com. Outside of that, see you guys at PAX. This has been fun, and we look forward to a future in this channel continuing on. But that has been our trip into the mind of madness.